Day of the Tentacle, a cartoon adventure by Tim Schafer and Dave Grossman, published by LucasArts back in the glory days of point-and-click adventures. Is this game worth your time and money? Good God, yes! I would rank this game easily in my top 10 games of all time, if not in the top 5. It is the type of game that you wish you could have helped work on due to the sheer brilliance and ridiculous humor, the kind of project you know that despite some grueling workdays was probably an absolute blast to work on. So without spoiling too much, here's my super brief synopsis of the game. It is a sequel to Maniac Mansion, once again involving the strange Edison family, the head of which is mad scientist Dr. Fred and his two tentacle creations, Green and Purple. Purple decides to drink from a toxic waste dump splurging out from yet another one of Dr. Fred's ridiculous creations, and he grows arms and becomes bent on world domination. As a result, Dr. Fred plans on killing them both, so Green Tentacle writes a letter to Bernard Bernoulli, who broke into the Edison mansion in the first game. Without delay, Bernard and his two roommates, the heavy metal slob Hoagie and sociopathic science geek Laverne, rush to the mansion and free the two tentacles, consequently allowing Purple to vanish and continue his plans for world domination.
Well, what possible harm could one insane mutant tentacle do?
Leaping lab rats!
Dr. Fred!
What have you done this time, you meddling milquetoast? Now Purple Tentacle is free to use his evil mutant powers to take over the world and enslave all humanity!
Whoops.
The only way to stop the madness is to get into yet another one of Dr. Fred's insane inventions, a time-traveling porta-potty called the Chronogon. The trio must go back to yesterday and turn off the sludge-o-matic so Purple doesn't drink the waste, but something goes wrong in the process and the three misfits come crashing down in separate timelines. Bernard returns to the present-day motel where Hoagie lands 200 years in the past and Laverne 200 years in the future. The objective now is to restore power to the Chronogons and the main unit that powers it all, return everyone to the present day, and then try again to go back to yesterday and stop Purple Tentacle from taking over the world!
Isn't it a little late for that, Doctor?
Of course! That's why I'll have to do it! Yesterday! To the time machine!
The entire game is riddled with joke after joke, and to this day I still crack up at some of the lines, especially Hoagie's. The fat slob finds himself in colonial times where George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and John Hancock are writing the Constitution of the United States, and Ben Franklin is outside somewhere flying a kite to discover electricity. In order to restore power to Hoagie's Chronogon, he must pull all sorts of pranks on the parody of these founding fathers, and there's never a dull moment.
Don't tell me you've got another design change for the flag.
I've got another design change for the flag.
Even Bernard's adventure in the game back in the present-day motel is completely ludicrous and funny.
Well, you know what they say. If you want to save the world, you gotta push a few old ladies down the stairs.
If any moment of the game is a little bit dull and stale, it's probably Laverne's part of the story, in the dystopian future run by tentacles, as I'd say it's probably the weakest of the three, but it is still funny. Both the writing and the voice acting in this game are perfect, and it's worth your time to explore every dialogue option in the game just to hear all the dumb jokes that they snuck in.
Oh great, I'm stuck in colonial times, tentacles are taking over the world, and now the toilet's backing up.
Hoagie, come over here. It's your old pal, Dr. Fred.
Dr. Fred, how'd you get in there?
If that's somehow not funny enough for you, the ridiculous stunts you must pull to save the world, like replacing George Washington's teeth with a novelty pair of chattering teeth, and forcing him to chop down a kumquat tree despite his long-standing pride of only chopping down cherry trees, it's just over-the-top brilliance.
Voila! You're quite a man. Yes, I know.
In summary, I replay this game at least once per year because every time I remember a line or scene, I get the itch to do it all again, and believe me, I still quote this game to this day. I'm gonna take it to the grave because there's so many funny lines in it. On top of that, the graphics are fantastic as well for the good old MS-DOS / early Windows days, and you can't beat the ad-lib music or the Roland MT32. The music and sound effects are straight out of something like the best of Looney Tunes, and they chime in and dance along with the silly ups and downs, events and disasters of the quirky characters.
Listen, just wait for me to say the word now, then push the kite into the air, all right?
I'm on you, lasagna.
Let's hope so.
Oops.
The puzzles are pretty straightforward as well, and since the reward for solving them is often hilarious, it's never frustrating or too drawn out. Day of the Tentacle is easily a 10 out of 10 experience. No, screw that, it's an 11 out of 10 because cartoon logic. Even now, in 2018, this game is untouchable. And Tim Schafer is fully aware of that fact, seeing as how his modern-day company, Double Fine, remastered it in 2016 for Steam and the PS4. Do yourself a favor and pick up this game if you've never played it. It is some of the best of what the 90s had to offer. You can also find a long play of it on my channel, and if you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe and check out my playlist of other reviews and retrospectives, as well as the various playthroughs of other games I've done. And thanks for watching!
Well, I'm glad that's taken care of. Looks like everything's back to normal.